This video is brought to you by Sim Racing Center. Today, we're going to be showing you how to go faster around the Hungaroring. Of course, the Hungarian Grand Prix, a difficult circuit. It's like Monaco, but without the barriers. Big thank you to Sim Racing Center for sending over the Hotlap and the setup. Let's get into the Hotlap first of all and tackle this brilliant circuit as we head down in towards turn 1. Getting the car over to the left-hand side, braking just before the 50-meter board, getting it down to third gear, short shifting into fourth. DRS open as soon as you've got the car straightened up. Get the car back over to the right-hand side, braking again before the 50-meter board, down into fourth gear, short shifting into fifth, and get the car back over to the left slightly as you take that right-hander. Sixth gear, seventh gear, as you rise up the hill, get the car over to the right-hand side, use a bit of the curb and throw it in through the left. Sixth gear, as you ride the curb on the inside, four for the right-hander now, and then use all of the curb on the left-hand side. On the power, braking at the curbing, and get it down into fourth gear for the chicane. Take as much curb as you possibly can on the entry and the exit, and then fourth for short shift into fifth through there. Fifth gear through the right-hander, and then get into the next left, just flat out through this one, not a problem. Little dab of brake through the right-hander, keep it in sixth gear. I'm now heading down this back straight. Not really an overtaking opportunity. Not many around this Hungarian Grand Prix. Really attack the curb on the inside, though, as you now head into this left-hander. Fourth gear through there, back on the throttle. Get the car back over to the left, and then a nice and tight exit as you run to the line. The shortest run to the line here. Sixth gear and across the line. There you go, and that is a world record lap from Thomas Ronha of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now we're going to break this down further, and starting off with the opening part of the lap, you want to take a wide entry, really cut back on yourself to get the maximum exit off the corner. Heading down in towards turn 1. The braking point for this corner, about 75 meters, so we're past the 100-meter board before the curbing starts and before you get to the 50-meter board, and you want to get hard onto the brakes and just smash it all the way down into third gear. Don't use too much of the curb on the inside, short shifting into fourth, of course. DRS open, then get the car straight away back over to the right-hand side of the track. Braking here, you've got the 50-meter board on the left-hand side that you can kind of use for a reference again. About 75 meters away from the corner, arriving in about 7th gear. Then on the brakes, down to 4th gear, again short shifting into 5th. Try and get the car over to the left as much as you can, but not too much, and then flat out through that right-hander. Rise up the hill, and you want to be braking around here. There's a sort of Marshall post on the left-hand side that you can use as a reference. Get on the brakes, dab of the brakes, get it down into 6th gear. Then get the car back over to the left-hand side. Again, another dab of the brakes using the Marshall post again on the left-hand side. Hug the inside, but don't touch the curb. Use a bit of curb on the outside. And now heading into the chicane, braking where the curbing starts. It's going to be important around here. Brake hard as you get into the chicane. Not really an overtaking opportunity, but if you are going to risk it, best to be on the inside of the corner. Use all the curb on the right and the left, and all of it on the exit as well. You can see really far over, pretty much to the curbings in the middle of the car. Braking around here as you start to turn in, just a dab of the brake, and again another little dab of the brakes as you head into this right-hander. 5th gear through both of those, and use all the curb on the left-hand side, but be careful not to run wide, otherwise you will invalidate. Little dab of the brake once again. 6th gear through this right-hander. Not too much brake, otherwise it's going to slow down the car too much and you're going to understeer, and use the curb on the exit. Now arriving into this heavy braking zone. Braking about, again, 75 meters, maybe just after the 100-meter board before the curbing starts on the left-hand side, and dropping all the way down into 4th gear. Use all the curb on the inside of that corner and on the exit as well. Be careful with this corner though, because the track does dip a little bit in the middle at the braking zone. Again, little dab of brakes, get the car down into 4th gear, hug the inside corner, not too tightly though, and use all the exit on the right hand side. Get the car back over to the left as quickly as you can, and then really tight on this right-hander. 5th gear, down to 4th, little dab of the brake, and I like you're seeing right there, really tight on the inside of the corner, and that is a lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now let's get into the setup, but before we do so, let's have a little word on our sponsors, Sim Racing Center. Sim Racing Center offers the best and latest F1 22 league racing setups to make sure your car is running as fast as it can. Combined with the race preparations they sell, which shows tire data, the best strategy, and a lot more to ensure you will slap the competition and be on on top of your game. With these products, all you need to do is focus on your driving. If that's something you struggle with though, get a one-to-one coaching session with esports or esport academy drivers. Sim Racing Center also offers race engineers like you have seen on the League Racing series that I run on this channel, who will help you live during the race with your best strategy. Now, this is a company that I use for all of my setups. When it comes to setting up the car, I'm absolutely clueless. So these guys point me in the right direction to go as fast as I possibly can. And if you want to stay up to date with the best setups, make sure you use the code Hayden at checkout for 10% off. Here we go then, taking a look at the setup that's going to make you go quicker around the Hungarian Grand Prix. On the aero, 50 and 46. Of course, it's Monaco without the barriers. You need the aero. There's a lot of corners, not really that many straights for overtaking, so qualifying is going to be key around here. 55% on the on throttle, 55% on the off throttle, just to maximize the traction out of the corners. On the suspension, geometry, camber all the way to the right, toe all the way to the left. We see this pretty much on every single circuit, and nothing is going to change there. Moving on to the suspension now. 9 on the front suspension, 3 on the rear suspension, 8 on the front anti-roll bar, 3 on the rear anti-roll bar, 3 on the front ride height, and 4 on the rear ride height. That's the suspension that you're going to be wanting to run to go quick around here. Brakes, nothing's changed here. 100% on the brake pressure, 50% on the front brake bias. And then the tires, usually we go for middle and then all the way to the right on the rear tires, but this time maximum tire pressures on every single tire, and that is the quickest way around the Hungarian Grand Prix. Big thank you to Sim Racing Center for sending us over the Hotlap, the setup, and of course for sponsoring this video. And if you enjoy more content just like this, make sure you subscribe so you never have to miss an episode. But until the next one, it's goodbye from me.